Of course, true mother had no financial independence, which basically means she could not do anything. She was a daughter. She was in the position of a daughter, so she wasn't even allowed. Yeah. So in this daughter position, when the true father was had for her to be able to succeed her daughter position up to 1977, she had to. In 1977, she was in the position of a younger sister, and then she left the younger sister position in 1991 and became the wife. The dates are on the board. And then she left in 1999. She left her position as a wife, and she stood as a mother. And again, in the year 2000, she left that position and became a grandmother. She had that position. And so, of course, when she left, she was already a grandmother in her family. And then, when she completed that in 2003, she was elevated in the position of a queen. And of course, she was already one with God. So in this way, she could substantialize God in the year 2006. And in the year 2006, he's showing it. There's in the year 2006, and he was in the year 2012. That was a mistake there. It's not 2010, it's 2012, April 29. And as she was growing on this, developing on these 8 stages, she developed her position and grew up. And I'm going to explain a bit more about this later. But if you look at it in general, from the Messiah true parents to the true parents position, it was when was that? It was after when Yesunim died. It was on the day of the victory of love, and at that time she could actually move. When he was on the temporary day, she could only develop from the younger sister position to the wife position. And later, when UPF was created, that's when she was able to leave the position of queen and be one with God. I'm going to explain more about that in the next slides. So I'm first going to talk to you about the choice of how she was chosen. So of course, Mrs. Han Hakchahan was selected. And that was, for her to be selected, there were 12 groups of brides that were actually prepared, and that could have been. In Korea, there is the spiritual. So I'm going to give a bit of a story of the background. So for example, there were 12 groups, spiritual groups that were actually created. Songju group, and that group for holy group was that leader was Kim Song-ho Do. It's written on the 3rd point, you can see there, and that Kim Song-do actually knew already about the fall of man, and she had received that in a revelation actually. And Kim Song-do, in that she actually later joined Ho Ho Bin. Ho Ho Bin was also in a different church. That was the Ho Ho Bin church. And Sorry, was the Belly Church, and later, of course, Demonim also inherited from that Hohobin. And from the 70s, from the ages between 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, all these, from all these ages and all these 10 eras, there was always ladies that had received the revelation, whether it's someone from 10 years old, 20 years old. The ladies were all different ages, but they all received revelations that when human beings will be completed, from once they received that actually when they were all most of them received it when they were like in the position of a daughter, and all these stages went. So during these 8 stages, there were always people, representative ladies, that received revelations, and they were from the Songju church, and the Demonim as well also inherited. The Demonim inherited from. So Demonim was from the 3rd generation of an only child of daughters, and Mrs. Hakchahan was Hun Son's his sister, and then Jungmonim mother was the only child. All of them were only children, only daughters. So of course they knew that they had to live a life of absolute faith, love, and obedience. They knew that was the standard, and that's what they had, how they had to live. One thing that really surprised me is when I was doing an interview. I was actually I did Sonjanim's mother. I interviewed Sonjanim's mother. Che's mother, sorry. Sonjanim's mother, Mrs. Che. And she was, and I was very surprised that she was also part of that. The son.
Her father.
Sorry.
Her father was.
I was also surprised that her father was part of that group. And yeah, they were basically all part of that Sonju church group. And then Hakchahan's mother was also.
Hakchahan parents also from that.
And Hakchahan's parents as well were from that group. It's not even in the True Father's books. So the first, second, and third Adam, all the mothers are from first, second, and third groups were all actually from that group.
From the group.
All the 3 mothers. So then when the True Father came to Kuksukdong, I said to Father, do you know, when I was interviewing, it's quite a difficult question to ask True Father, yeah? But then he told me that, because he told me and accepted that I can do lectures of his life, I said, sorry, while I was interviewing, there's something I want to find out. I want to confirm. You know, the first mother, Hunjanim's mom, the second mother, Shinjinim's mom, Hijinim's mom. Do you know if they were all from Sonju Church? Is that correct? And True Father said, looked at me that way, and he said, this guy. He said, whoa, he really searched for all kinds of stuff. Man, you're great. And that's all he said. So then, do you know how much I laughed? Of course it was funny. Because Because at that time, True Mother was chosen, and that was in 1950. There was a Ewhan's University incident. Sorry. Do you know about it? Does it happen? Can you remember actually the True Father's life about the Ewhan's University? So in Ewhan's University, there were very young second generation Christians that actually converted to Unificationism or came to him to study. So whether it was not only students, but it was also teachers and different people. They were all studying Unificationism. There were 14 students, and there were 5 teachers.
All got fired.
And all of them got fired from the university. And that was before True Mother was chosen. So when True Mother was chosen, and there was a Korean War from 1950 to 55. So when it was really hard to even be in university, it was only really elites, that were very rich people, that were allowed to go to university. And that's because it was just right after the war. So then True Mother was chosen. How do you think it was?
How did she feel?
How did she feel? So when other ladies were thinking, maybe I could have. Why don't you think? Maybe they thought that it would be the wife of the Messiah. Some of them thought like that because they were quite clever. They were elites. So.
They are part of 36 couples.
And these people were part of the 36 couples as well. So even Mrs. Yu was like, maybe I could have been one True Mother. Maybe I could have been the True Mother. So they were not thinking. But the ladies that left the university, in order to actually. They left with that kind of thought. Maybe I would be the Messiah's wife. That's how they left the Ewha's University. But it doesn't make you laugh. It doesn't work. It's not anyone that can be chosen to be the wife of the Messiah. So from all the 12 groups that were even chosen, even what's funny, for everyone that was chosen was from that Sonju church actually. So even if even the third.
All the candidates were from.
Do you understand? So I've been speaking a lot about True Father, and he looks good now, and so I need to let you know more about True Mother. So why am I saying this? Because our True Mother, she was chosen when she was young. And then compared to other people that was felt they were very good or very qualified, and when she stood up in front of those people that felt they were qualified, what do you think on how they felt? How do you think True Mother was? And what could she have gone through internally? Just try to think about it. Yep. So in 1960, in 1960, True Parents Engagement and Ceremony for Understand the Providence. And at that time, these are the 3 stages, or the 4 stages that True Father actually had promised to God. And so these are the 4 things he promised. And the first one was the second Advent, so the second Advent coming to Korea, he knew about it. And secondly, he said he's going to achieve, the second ceremony that was done is that of achieving oneness with the invisible Father as a visible Father. So now, if we look at what he's saying now, he speaks more about a God of day and God of night. He said the God of night is substantial Father, and the God of day is a substantial Father, and the visible Father is the God of day. The one we can see has become completed in one person, and that's him, and that's the ceremony he did in 1920 to 60. The stage he went through, sorry. And the third one was the dedication of diadem. So things that Jesus could not do, could not complete. So because you need to become a king of kings, Jesus could not do that. Things that he could not do. But on this third stage ceremony, he did it. He completed it. And on fourth stage, he dedicated. It was a dedication of crown, which basically is the condition date, and everything that God had actually dreamt of in the past, from the very beginning, he's going to do it up to now. He's been doing it up to now. So basically, by dedicating the crown to God. So why is true Father is the Messiah? You can see that again from this slide. So
fake messiahs.
So you can see that the fake messiahs, for example, they will say, "Oh, I will do this first."
They don't promise beforehand in advance.
So the fake messiahs, they don't promise in advance what they will do. But true Father, he promises, and look at what he promised actually. The first thing, he told God, I'm going to actually create a pledge that I'm going to do, bring the humankind to the position as back they were, to the position they were before the fall. That's the kind of promise he first gives to God. And then after, of course, the ceremony to be able to get a true mother as well completed with him. And this is true mother's holy wedding. And after the first Eve and mother failed. Then during this time, the 14-year course, he said, I will not divorce. He wanted to continue with the first mother. But then Satan did his best to make sure that this would not work. And for these 14 years, true Father, during these 14 years of time, between 1946 to 1960, true mother was chosen, the current true mother. So at that time, there was a foundation of 3 couples, and he first found these 3 couples. Do you know who they are? And so he found them. It was Kim Won-pil, Kim Yong-hee, and Yoo Hyo-won. Why did he first find these 3 people? Why did he first find these 3? Because normally when God created the universe, there were first 3 archangels to help Adam. And so they were in this position to be able to support actually the third Adam, which is him at the moment. So basically these 3 couples were chosen and made as blessed couples in order to support him, true Father, in his mission as the third Adam. So if you look at Revelations 19, 9 to 10, holy wedding is the wedding of the Lamb. It speaks about the wedding of the Lamb, sorry. So it was divided in two. The first ceremony, the ceremony of parents for restoration, and the second is that for glory. So how does that happen? Basically, it's the restoration. Through restoration, you can become parents, and then the second one, through the restoring the whole humankind. And after we've created a completed world for God, one before the fall, then together with our true mother, then we can have the ceremony of glory. And the true parents before and after the holy wedding became completely different. Their lifestyle became completely different. So after that, there was a divorce with the first mother, and the true mother, the true parent that had lost his first family, he could again get blessed at this time. And together with the true mother in 2000, and that after this wedding with the true mother, current true mother, there was no condition for Satan to invade. So true mother Hek Chahan had to grow properly as basically restore all the 8 stages of heart that Eve had lost due to the fall. So not only she was in the position of daughter, even though she was a wife, but she was the daughter because she was in that position. So when true father spoke to her, he spoke to her like a daughter, and true mother, from the position of a daughter, she had to keep her absolute faith, love, and obedience to him. And then after 7 days of 7 years, she had to succeed. And up to that time, from that position of a daughter, even if she made any if she made more than $10 if she used more than $10, then she had to report that as well because she's the daughter. And at that time as well, during the 7 years, she shouldn't think even 1% about herself. Everything that true father says, she had to do it. She had to follow like a robot, really, or a master to her. So they were married. But then because she is in the position of a daughter, whatever true father says, but they were still separated. They were living separate. Because she's a daughter, she has to grow. She was in that position. So that was for 7 years. So then she succeeded and was victorious. And in 1960, on the 11th of April, let's turn the page. There was a proclamation day of victory. And that was because true father had accepted and that he comforted her that she actually completed that stage, and now she's a younger sister. So let's move on. So now the second level is the level of a younger sister, even though she was a wife. So that's from 1977 to 1991. At that time, true father, she had to always stand at the back of true father. She could not stand by his side. And true father, so basically she had to not only overcome this position of Eve at the time of the fall, because what happened at the time of the fall? she hid Eve. Actually, she lost the word. She had fallen away from God and because of Satan. So what does she have to do? She has to restore. She has to do the opposite. So again, because she went to Satan and she was on Satan's side, she has to leave. So basically, she has to her mission. She has to prove her mission by changing, and Adam is my husband because Adam came on this world. She has to proclaim that to the whole world. She has to explain that to her kids. She has to say that. That's the opposite cause. I told you that yesterday. Eve, after she breaks completely or severs her relationship with Satan, then she will be able. She has to go through the providence of restoration, and that is by. And once she has done that, she has to teach Cain, educate Cain, so that Cain can also move from Satan. And then after that, there will be a relationship between Cain and Abel. Basically, they can restore that position of elder sonship. So basically, she has to proclaim again Adam, and then later she has to help Cain and Abel to restore their relationship. And so everything that happened in that time of Eve has to be done in the opposite way. Because she had ignored Adam. Because she had ignored Adam, now she had to go back to Adam. Yes? So for 10 years, she went around the world and started doing a speech. Because of that, she went around for 10 years to proclaim. So then in 1997, for 10 years after she has gone through this world speech tour for 10 years, proclaiming for her true father and her husband, she had actually been able to completely educate Cain and Abel, and also been able to leave that position of a younger sister and become a wife. And that was accepted in 1997. So I'm sure you know this. I know this very well because I did the history of the church. So then the next one is the stages from wife to mother. Basically, now she's a wife. She's recognized as a wife. And from 1991 to 1999, during that time, there was a very important event, and that was the event of inauguration of chairman of Women's Federation of World Peace. That's a very important one, and that was in 1992, April 10th. So what is Family Federation for World Peace? What does that mean? Not family, Women's Federation for World Peace. It's basically all the ladies in the whole world on Eve's side. It's basically conditionally bringing them together. Do you understand? So all these ladies from the whole world. So basically, chosen by the true mother was chosen to represent this woman from the whole world. And Lucifer, in order to recreate himself, what should he do? What do you need to do to be able to recreate Lucifer's seed? You need the base. What is the base? It's ladies. So, for example, True Mother was So True Mother's this was the base of Satan basically, but because True Mother was in this position as she was put as a representative of Women's Federation for World Peace, then she was able to somehow get the whole all the women back to her side against Satan. So she was. So basically, it's a new way to. So she was basically cultivating this. Yeah. Do you understand? So is there a way to is there a way for Lucifer to continue to expand? Because he doesn't have a ground anymore. There's no ground. There's nowhere for him to cultivate his evil. So then Lucifer put his hand up and surrendered to True Mother. So Lucifer surrendered. By who? It's because the True Mother was able to remove the ground where he could plant or he could continue. There was no way for Lucifer to continue his work because True Mother actually succeeded in removing this place or land or area for Lucifer to continue. So then he surrendered. And that was in 1999, March 21. So then there was this blessing, the 360 million couple blessing. And that was to thank the hard work that True Mother has been doing and the Victorious Foundation that she had done. So then True Father again gave this reward. That's it. That's the one he gave to True Mother. So after making all this tour and proclaiming to the whole world that this third Adam, his true father, is the Messiah. And then Lucifer didn't have any more place to stand, and then because he had no more place to stand, True Father actually had to. True Father created helped her move from the position of a wife to a mother, and he gave this award to her for her hard job and to recomfort her as well. And then that was one of the first days that True Mother could really cry. So True Mother is not at that time anymore just a wife. She could stand now in the equal position of True Father as a True Mother. So what do you feel when you see this? So True Father cannot actually complete himself if True Mother cannot complete herself. So at that level now, what everything that True Father does, every time True Father as much as he can help True Mother develop, then he can develop. So it basically goes together. So he helped True Mother get to that position. So who do you think True Mother testified to? So Eve had actually gone to Lucifer, and she did something different. She went to Adam, and she was talking everything she was doing. She was actually proclaiming only True Fathers, testifying to True Father, which means she was completely cutting ties with Satan, and at the same time she was moving and upward, and she got to the chance to get to the mother's position. So so when she can get to this level, who will develop at that time? Of course, true father developed as well to a father position. So again, you have to remember that you helping your partner to develop is you developing as well. It's not about the other. It's not about yourself. It's about the other.
It's not only theory.
It's not just a theory. As you can see, everything he's been doing his best to get True Mother to actually, substantially continue this path and go up, because he also could go up that way. It's not a theory. Let's look at the next slide. So then, of course, True Mother now, in 1999 to 2000, then she got the chance to move from a mother position to a grandmother position. True Mother, in the year 2000, she went for the 40 cities. This is America, this is Europe. And then True Father told him to go around Europe for 12 countries in Europe. And it wasn't to make True Mother develop.
It wasn't on her own.
It was on her own. It wasn't on her own, sorry. It was together with the children. So of course, True Mother, what was she doing? She was educating her children. So it was together. So what she's doing is she's actually proving to the world about and proclaiming about the completed Adam, and together with her children. Just like Noah's. Just like in Noah's time, before the Judgment Day, what Noah's wife should have done.
She should have done.
Yeah, this is. So same. True Mother became one together with God, and one with the True Father, and then she educated completely her children, and then she went in a different. So that was basically her restoring Eve, restoring the position mother-son cooperation, as well as elder sonship, right? And at the same time helping them to all go, offering them to Adam. So she offered these to Adam. So do you remember why I told you that the first chart, why it's so important and I did it so long? Do you remember? Because once they've done the mother-son cooperation and the elder sonship and they win this, then they can go to Adam. Eve can actually offer this to Adam. So Adam or father cannot get to himself. He cannot be Adam by himself. He cannot complete, even though he came as a perfected person. For him to be able to perfect himself, he has to be able to develop, to help True Mother develop herself. And the children as well have to be educated as well and be able to, together, they have to be able to grow, help each other grow. Then of course they get to the parents level, and then they get to the, as well, married, the couple level. So of course, so together with the true children at that time, after she was going and telling the different, together with the children, at that time, True Father was always at sea. Whatever True Mother is doing together with her children while she's going around to the different countries in Europe, he was there at that time at the sea. And then on the 1st of June, 2000, it was just like the 40 days flood judgment that had ended, and he said he actually succeeded that same kind of living. So what does that mean? He succeeded. The first one was during Noah's time. The second 40 days flood was physically, and then during. So if we think about it theoretically, so basically all the children, all the Abel and Cain people, by spreading the word, all the Cain and Abel people as well as the children, there was some kind of there was a base for them to be actually. There was a base for them to be able to get to change completely, to be restored. So they became one together with God, one together with the true mother, and the children as well. And in this time, after she had finished actually, got the condition of teaching the whole humanity, then it was ended. And it was victorious. At that time, of course, a true mother was equal to true father. They were on the same level. And at that time, the Shinman-nim had the 103rd day celebration. And the true father said, let's not do 100 days, but let's do 103 days celebration. But what is the meaning of that 103 day celebration? Because when Noah had the flood, before the flood happened, 3 days before the flood happened, there was a lot of rain for 40 days. So of course there was a lot of rain all over. There was a big flood. There was a big flood, and it was hard for him to even walk. So of course it was a 60 plus 3. So then it's about getting back all the humanity that has been lost due to the fall by Satan. And then proclaim, of course, the third Adam. And in 2000, in the year 2000, in June, and on the 24th of June as well, still in the year 2000, and on the 17th of June again, everything that the true Father, everything that Satan had taken away from God during the time of Noah's time, it was possible to restore this at that time. So then us as second blessed families, we had the opportunity to join the registration blessing and then get into that level. So in this generation, there are 3 types of generation: the old generation, the New Testament, and the completed Testament age. So of course it was a complete change from the Old Testament to the New Testament, and then based on the 4-position foundation, we got the opportunity to actually enter register into God, or return back to God. That was the third. That was the registration blessing. Do you understand? For me to be honestly, actually, I was wondering, what is it? He's doing so many proclamations. What is that? We just keep following. Okay, today for 30 days we have to go to Daejeon, and we have to witness. So many times there were so many problems, and then the members were complaining. We have to do this kind of. Even I hear Reverend Mrs. Song tells her that God, Jesus, True Father tells her, do this. You have to do this for Europe. You have to do that. Again, they have to just follow. It was hard to understand for all of us. But this was just the levels for to be able to help us actually be able to be restored and return back to God. So again, through Mother, God was able to be completed and complete complete as well our True Father, and together they were able to grow up. Like I said, the way True Father can, as much as he helps True Mother, he also gets help. So the first chart I told you about the True Fathers, about Adam and Eve, is just it's just the same flow, the same thing. And that's the same principle how True Father actually lived his life. It was a very tearful life. And if you don't know this, then completely hard. So next. So then True Mother got the chance to, in that way, after having been able to educate the children and work with them, she left the grandmother position to a queen position. And that was from 2000 to the year 2003. At that time, the most important point, it's when she was leaving the position of a grandmother to a queen. True Father, in the year 2003, on the 2nd of June, he told us, blessed couples, I've completed the position to help our to help our blessed couples to come, and also True Mother succeeded in helping the children to grow, and this was in February 6, 2003. So at that time, the opening of the gate and Cheonilguk through this holy wedding ceremony was done, and that did help for the. So I think you have to actually register everything that about this enthronement ceremony. And he also did the enthronement ceremony for the King of Blessed Families and Peace of Unity of the Cosmic Parents and True Parents. So what was that? It's basically because we as a blessed family were already now in the position of the original Adam family, and because we were in this position of completed Adam family before the fall, and he made that proclamation. So of course at that time as well, we became like True Parents' children. We were True Parents' children, True Father's children, and we got as well this. We were able to as well join in the registration ceremony. So True Father and True Mother became one, completed themselves to become one. So then it became to such a level that True Mother doesn't even need to bow to True Father anymore. And the blessed families could go beyond the age of the realm of the fourth chosen people. So then God appeared in the image of parents. What does that mean? Blessed families could enter in
이게 무슨 의미예요?
the realm of the first chosen people. What does that mean?
졸고 계십니까?
Do you sleep? Are you sleeping? What does that mean?
자, 제4차 선미권 시대를 들어간다.
Entering the realm of the first chosen people. What does that mean?
제가 힌트를 드리겠습니다.
I'll give you a hint.
제4차 선미권 니꼬로 제4차 아담권.
Okay, entering the fourth realm of chosen people is equal to entering the Adam's realm before the fall. What does it mean?
모르시겠죠?
You don't know, yeah?
자, 1차
So the first Adam
그럼 본연의 아담이죠.
is the original Adam. The second Adam is Jesus.
3차
The third Adam is our true parents, true father, sorry.
아담권 시대는 뭐예요?
And the first Adam is? It's us. It's us. We are the fourth Adam in the position of the original Adam that hadn't fallen. So if we had not fallen,
완성한 아담이
we would also be completed Adams and Eve.
1차 아담, 2차 아담,
So first, second, third Adam,
메시아는
Messiah,
하나님의 하나님의 집게
are just the messiahs that have not unfallen messiahs that were chosen by God.
아담권 시대가 끝났고
But now this
효과적 자녀들이
so this era has gone about. But now us as a blessed families, we are it was created. We are the first Adam was chosen this way. Now we are now the chosen people.
environment was established.
So now this environment for us to become the fourth Adam has been established.
시대가 4차 아담권 시대입니다. 됐어요?
Yeah.
그래서 그때부터
So at that time,
사탄이 지배하는
God appeared in an image of
하나님의 입장이 아니라
parent,
사탄이
not as
입장에서 하나님께서
not as a subject. It was basically just as parents.
할수 있는
So it means he can directly actually be with us.
하나라고 하는 것은 참 부모의
So true parents,
들어올 수 있는
because God entered our true parents' body,
이게
and they're reflecting God as a physical being.
어머니의 입장에서 어머니의 입장으로
True
승리하시는
mother could leave the position of grandmother and become queen.
이거죠? 나인 앞에 나인. 자, 여왕에서 실제
So after leaving the substantial position stages from queen,
3년부터 2006년
she got into the position of substantial God. That was in between that time of 2003 to 6.
속성을 완전히 완성시킨
So then again, that's basically her
속성
completely understanding the heart of God. That was when true mother could understand and be awakened completely to and feel true mother, God completely. Then she could become the substantial God.
하나님의 직계 아들로 왔기 때문에
Because
성품 자체가
true father was one of the chosen people, the chosen Messiah
이와
directly. But so that means true God is and true father is.
하나님과 아버지와 딸
True Father is the God. God is True Father is the Son of God, and at that time as well, True Mother is the direct daughter of God, and now True Mother as well. After understanding and completing the characteristics of God and attributes of God, she could actually, God could become her. She could feel like one with God and substantialize God.
하나님과 일치된
So then she became one.
상황이라고 볼 수가 있는 것입니다. 그래서 이때
And
아버님은 실질적으로 어머님의 이 승리를 중심하고
so centering on this, on True Father created the registration of the start of Cheonilguk, and which basically means it's a new Cheonilguk, a new area. It will be a time where we can create actually a country of God. Because we've become one externally, and the God can actually come and live with us. So then we can create and live Cheonilguk. At that time, there was he chose 16 leaders from different countries, and using the word absolute, he created the. He used the word absolute, where of course, absolute has got absolute love, obedience, and absolute uniqueness. He used 16, even in all of them, all the characters we learn of God today, the most important is absoluteness. So concentrated on this absolute, centered on this world of absolute, he created Cheonilguk registration at New York government. The people that made research on this, if you search on this, you'll be completely surprised. And so, of course, you guys just, if you make research, then you'll be very, very surprised. But if you just live like, oh, wow, this is it, the true fathers really have lived such a hard life. If you just feel like, if you don't try and feel it completely, step level by level, deeply in your heart, then you'll just be like, oh, that was hard, huh? So let's go to the next. So in 2000, next. So that was when there was the creation of Cheonjong-gun entrance ceremony and coronation. So I'm sure all of you went there because you're all leaders. So what's the Cheonjong-gun entrance ceremony and coronation? What did he create when he was doing Cheonjong-gun? What is he establishing? What does it signify? So basically, after True Mother could become not only after True Mother could actually become substantialized with completed being substantialized with God, and then we could also register as fourth atoms, True Father in his heart, in his body, and then True Mother also in her body. Who could come in? Of course, they have created an environment where they are living together with God. They've created that kind of environment where God can actually come and live with them. So symbolically, they need a house. God needs a house. So of course God needs a house where he can actually come into our parents. He needs a king where he can come in and also, initiate his life. He needs his palace. So that was the significance. God having a palace on this earth. Do you understand? It is quite hard, but it's a very deep message. I'll start questioning now. So, for example, it's not just True Father or True Mother that had to be completed, but it's also God, the substance, and wife and husband that had to be completed. So then, father and mother just became completed. If you think like that, then you'll be useless. You have to think about. You have to focus on yourself. Think about it. I need to get completed now.
It's not about them.
It's not just about them. We heard about them. So do you live with God? Do you feel God controlling you? Why do you think God is not controlling you?
Why can't God
Why can't God come in?
하나님이 당신에게 못 들어오는 이유가 있습니다.
There's a reason why he can't come in.
어머님 속에
Because
하나님과 일체되기 전까지는 하나님 못 들어왔어요.
before a true mother was one with God, substantialized with God, there was no way God could come into her. So then, of course, God's word could not be created or established. But because now true mother was established with God, has become, so not established, substantialized with God, then of course, God could enter into their couple. That's how it started.
그럼 왜 우리는 하나님
So then, why don't we fear God?
우리가 다른 것은 뭡니까?
Well, why are we different? Because God,
들어올 수 있는 조건이
we should. What is the condition for God to come into us?
동시에 갖고 있는 사람.
It's because God will not enter in the person that has got both characteristics of Satan and God in him.
선의 주인공이시고
God is the master of goodness,
악을 대하시는
and if he has children, he can't deal with evil.
가지고 있을 때
He only has goodness in him.
선만을 갖고 있는
He only has got the good attributes.
When people have only goodness,
And when you only have goodness in yourself,
집에는 못 들어가요.
or if you have only evil, if you have a bit of evil in you, or both, then he can't come to your house, he can't come to you, he can't enter you. You can't be completed. Do you understand?
왜 하나님을 경험 못해요?
Why aren't you guys able to experience God?
여러분 속에 못 들어와요.
Why doesn't God come into you?
그러면서 하나님이 살아 계시냐 안 살아 계시냐 이렇게 얘기하고 있죠.
Why? No, you guys are asking, is God living? Is God not living? Is God alive? Does he exist? Yeah?
여러분들 하나님을 경험하지 못하고 하나님이 못 들어오는 이유는
Then now you know the reason why God cannot come into you. It's because you guys are, if you're still having both,
it's not God's problem.
it's not God's problem. You are the problem.
어느새
Do you understand?
왜 하나님의 속성으로 이 시대에 전환해야 되고
Why do we have to actually-
속성으로 우리가 바뀌어야 되느냐?
We have to change. We have to change. We have to think about it. We have to revert everything back to us.
하나님과 일체된 여성의 심정을
So again,
하나님과
that's the same thing.
못했어.
True mother, God could not even feel the substantialized mother before she was one with him.
그러니까 참 아버님도
So then,
부모로서 완성.
same with true father. True father could not feel that feeling with substantialized one with God because he had not become. True mother had not reached that level.
왜 우리가 하나님을 경험 못해?
So then, why don't we feel God?
선악을 동시에 갖고 있어.
Because we have both evil and goodness in us. We have both. Our mind is we are living with both at the same time. That's the reason.
이해되십니까?
Do you understand?
그래서 이 천정궁이란 완성된
So-
천부모의 몸속에 하나님의 성품을 부부가 완성시킨 천부모의 몸속에 들어올 수 있는 조건이
So for the reason, so what is the condition for us to be able to be one body with God,
아담의 세계,
one body?
지속됐더라면 하나님의
If
왕궁이 되고 왕궁의 세계가 되었었다는 것이죠.
if it was like that from the beginning, then we would have already been in the kingdom of heaven.
네.
But we lost it.
총정궁을 지어놓고
So again, he created Chonjonggung. He created that palace of heaven for God, so that God, using true parents' body,
땅에 내려오신
can actually be able to touch ground, be here.
So far he couldn't.
So before he couldn't. Why couldn't he come down?
해와가
Because Eve,
어머니가
mother,
성장
had not already become one, substantialized with God, and could not be one with God.
근데 이제
But now,
어머니가
because true mother
완성된 순간
substantialized and became one with God,
지키 아들이었기 때문에
then the true father, who was already together united with true mother, God could now come into
함께 사시면서
their couple and live together.
잃어버렸던 본연의 세계
So again, all the lost world from the past was.
함께 내려와 사시는
So now he could come back to the old. It was a day where the history was created, where basically, again, God could come down and fill the earth before.
부모는 하나님
the creation as in the original form.
의식이 대관식.
So it was no longer necessary to distinguish between God and true parents.
거행한 대관식이고 하나님과 참부님을 구별할 필요가 없습니다.
And so again, because, as I say, they were one in heart. So they were one in heart with God. So we can't distinguish between God and true parents because they're thinking the same way. They are father and son,
그 참부모님이
externally God.
and they are like the external God. So then,
참부모의 몸속에
God doesn't. True parents don't even need to bow again to God because God has entered them. They've become one with God. You understand?
박수.
I need to go to the bathroom.
이제 뭔가 섭리감이 보이십니까?
Do you understand something of the providence in your heart? Yeah?
아주 흉해.
It's very.
이 축복 가정들이 아버님이 하시는 일을 모른다니 우리가 큰 문제다.
So, of course, because we don't understand, because we couldn't understand this, yeah? We couldn't understand the heart of our true parents. We can't understand this before. It was because of that. Now, for example, because of that, I started doing these lectures. I was asked to do this. But to be honest, I am not as well qualified. I'm not that good. I just say from the things I know.
아버님의
I can't really express God, true Father's heart. I can't.
부족하지만
I'm completely unqualified. But because I have done some researches, then I'm able to stand in front of you and talk.
그래서 이제 천일국이 만들어졌으니 기반에
So that was the base for us to create, for truth parents to create the Chanilguk, because we need a sovereignty, territory, and people.
본연의
So now,
아담의 세계, 창조 이상의 세계가
so this is basically
가는 시간
the creation of Chanilguk was basically creating again
2000년부터
the world before
12년까지 1월 14일
the creation. So we are going to change this. This is supposed to be 2012, not 2010.
부모가 되었지만
So again,
이제
at that time,
최종 완성
Eve was able to move from
부인으로
the substantial God to a wife of God.
이제 하나님의 성품을
So then she had already completed all the characteristics of God,
하나님의 부인으로
but this time she could become like God's wife.
하나님이 결혼식하는
And then it's like God's first wedding.
2012년
And that was in 2012 on the
이해되십니까?
13th of February.
이그
Do you understand? So, in this blessing of God,
2차 장성급
the first, second, and third level, there was 3 levels that we'd gone through, and we could now do this coronation ceremony. And on the 9th of May,
금혼식 및 성화 축제라고 하는 이름을 주시면
sorry, on the
천부모님
9th of on the 3rd of on the 5th anniversary of the golden wedding anniversary was held as well.
이제 하나님과 일체된 참부모 속에는 하나님의 성품을
So basically, because God was already one in true Father, and true as
소생급을
they were able and as well one in true Mother, they were able to go to this level. And true.
하나님이 참 어머님을 실제 신부로
So of course, then again, true Mother got this was able to stand again in the position of the wife of God,
2010년도에
as God is in them. This was on the 29th of April 2010,
성혼식이라고 했죠.
and that was called the Holy Wedding.
소생급이에요. 그리고 2011년 올해
And in 2010,
완성급은 2012년 1월 14일
it was completed.
하나님의 부인으로 확정되신
And the 2009 and the 9th of May was
자, 그래서
completed.
이 도표로 다시 돌아왔어요.
So yeah, we're back to that slide.
메시아의 삶, 참부모의 삶, 만왕의 왕의 삶을
Messiah's life, true parent's life, and the life of a King of Kings. True mother, moving from daughter younger sister, wife, mother, grandmother, queen,
여호왕
God,
하나님과 일체된
a lady that becomes one with God, and then a lady that becomes God's wife.
어머님이
This is true mothers going through her process of completion through the 8 stages. And because she could complete this and go and up, then true father was able to complete the same as as I said before. When true father was able to complete, help her complete something, he too could go up. So that's how they did.
어머님을 끌어올리는 거죠.
So he's basically.
through true father education and
어머니가
investment.
완성된 레벨만큼
So again,
당신이 아무리 완성된 아담의 자리라 할지라도
so even though true father was in the position of the child, he could not be able to get to this completed position. So, but through his investment in true mother, he was an education. She was able to go up.
아버님과 뒷자리에서 그다음에
So, but before, as you can see, when she was still in the daughter, sister, and wife position, she was always she was behind. Then after she was beside. When she was in the equal position,
위치의
then of course
상이 변했습니다.
it changed. It kept changing up.
그리고 메시아의 단계에서 천부모의 단계를 뛰어넘을 수 있는 기준이
So again, as I said, when the true father was in temporary, and for the day of victory of love as well, that's when true mother could actually move from that position of younger sister to a wife, and then she could also move from the position of a queen
설명.
to that of one with God and God's wife after the UPF was established.
이거는 여러분들 제가 저기서 비디오에서 설명을 했습니다. 그래서
I showed you this in the video, so I think you just need to keep this in your mind.
부수적인 것입니다. 사실은.
It's not. It's just an something additional. So, for example, true mother's victory.
그 어머님의 눈높이에 내려와서
So it's about true father. It's when true. So it basically means, in order for true father to grow, he had to come to the level of true mother, who was below him, and then walk up with her. It was so when true mother grows up to a certain level, then again true father grows to that level. So father basically, in order to bring her up to this level where she is now, he had to go down.
축복받은 남편이었어요.
So this is the job of our blessed couples' husbands.
해와가 타락을 해요.
So
얼마나 고민이 많고
when Eve fell, how much worries and concerns she had, how much everything. So don't be like Eve.
타락의 원흉의 해와라고 과거에 해석했지만
Of course, we know what happened in Eve, but
해와가 아니라 루시퍼라고 하는
it was because of Lucifer.
루시퍼가 해와를 꼬인 거죠.
So of course Lucifer took Eve,
그냥 당한 거예요.
and then Eve, of course, just it happened to her. Yeah, she let it happen.
자, 이 강의를 들으시고
But when you listen, as you're listening this, what are you thinking? What do you have to do?
Love and respect her.
Respect her.
아내를 어떻게 완성시키지?
How will you help your wife to complete herself?
가정에서도
Even in your family, just like
이론적으로 얘기하는
that is just it's not the true father didn't just talk about this. He's actually basically showing what he did, and he wants you to do it.
왜 자꾸만 안 해?
Why don't you want to? Why are you not acting it out?
We don't need to see just the woman's wife.
It's not just the woman or yourself. If you want to grow, yeah, just repent, please, husbands.
아브라함처럼 되세요.
You just be like Abrams, yeah.
내가 죽음의 자리에
So that even if I tell your wife, even if you tell your wife to do something or go to a position of killing herself or dying for you, she'll be able to do it because you have shown a life of God and she can see God in you.
통일의 남자들은 참 심각해요.
It's a very serious matter.
부인들은 열심히 교회 나오는데
Sometimes the older ladies are actually coming to church all the time. But what about the men?
부인 교회 열심히 나가는
So sometimes the women just go to church
전환되려고 그렇게 발버둥치는데
and they kind of understand even sometimes some of the attributes of God.
주체로서의
But as the subject, you have to recreate the object. Or help recreate.
신앙의 정통성을
It is,
부인에게 못 보여주고 있습니다.
if you're not showing your culture of faith, there's no way
더 이상 안 되리니
the wife would, things will happen. So it's this time, it has got to end now.
나를
My wife,
어떠한 상황에서
whatever happens,
상황을 만들
I have to be able to make a situation where my wife would always believe me and trust me.
하나님과 종적으로
And how do I do that? Is by me living a complete, an absolute life centered on God in absolute faith.
그거 안 되면
If that doesn't work,
아내 완성한 건
then the wife will not be able to be completed, and the husband, of course, as well. Nothing will happen. Why do you think Father is the Messiah?
이론적으로 얘기하지 않고
He doesn't speak in theoretically only.
이 원칙대로
He just follows as well. He lives like the principle. He's been doing all his efforts to live the principle life.
입장에서 어머님을
He sees her true mother. He saw her as a fallen Eve, and then he kept helping her to grow from the stage of a daughter up to now, with tears and efforts. I'm sure there are lots of you here that are very, there are many leaders here. That's why I didn't even explain you about daughter position. But what is a daughter position? If the daughter cries,
왼손으로 닦았어요.
if the daughter cries, basically what you do, you don't just go around and wipe the tears, but you give them as well the tissue. Do you know that?
근데 아버님이 휴지를
So
오른쪽에 아니라 왼쪽에
So what did true father do? He wasn't giving with the right hand. He was actually giving it with the left hand to her. For example, the tissue.
의미를 몰라.
She didn't know.
어머니를 직접적으로 가르치지 않아.
So basically, true father did not directly teach true mother. She let her learn.
습관을 바꾸라고 한 것은
She let her learn by herself.
어머님을 창조해요.
If by acting, he had his actions, he showed it, and she was learning from it. For example, here
took 7 months to change this.
it took for example 7 months for true mother to change her habit of
아내를
taking the tissue with the right hand.
얼마만큼 행동으로 액션을 통해서
So how much
깨우치게
are you teaching or learning from even your teachers?
미안하지만 아담의 시대가 아니에요.
I'm sorry, but this is not Adam's era.
어머님이 이제 하나님의 속성을 반성시켰어요.
It's a time when Eve has actually been able to substantialize with God. And she's representing God as well.
아담의 설 자리는
If she was... it's a time where Adam has been able to help Eve substantialize in God.
남편들이 해야 돼요.
So then husbands, you have to do it.
Repent.
You have to repent.
이해되십니까?
Do you understand?
그래서 기원절 하나님의 속성을
On the foundation day,
하나님이 우리 치 속에 들어올 수 있도록
the foundation day was a day where
회화의 모양
God could enter in our lives and could come here on this earth through father and through mother.
And they showed the example.
우리 오전 강의를 여기까지 마쳤습니다.
Let's finish here today. Thank you. 그래도 I don't think I can say every little word.
Let's really applaud Reverend Young. Isn't it good to hear this stuff? Really, it gets to the core of who we are and what we should be. And also, I really very much appreciate his explanation about the meaning of the Foundation Day. I think it's very clear to us, and it's that God truly comes down on the earth in true parents, and it's really a day to look forward to. So, and thanks also to our interpreters. Yeah. So actually now we're going to be having lunch break, and Reverend Young has suggested the generous 1 hour and 30 minutes. So we come back here at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, okay? Enjoy your lunch.